It is 1939, the beginning of World War II. Princess Elizabeth, heir to the throne, is a young teenager, growing up with the all-too-real threat that Nazi Germany could invade England and destroy its freedom and way of life. For safety, she and her sister Margaret move out of Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle. Their parents stay put to show their solidarity with the people and narrowly escape when the palace is bombed.
Buckingham Palace for the third time is hit by Nazi bombs.
Still a teenager, Elizabeth is able to exert her independence at Windsor Castle, hosting dinners, putting on plays, and organizing events. The country is united as never before in the war effort, and she wants to do more. The royal family devotes part of their Sandringham estate to food production.
The entire park has been plowed up, including the private golf course, which is now producing oats and rye.
At 18, she volunteers for an army unit called the Auxiliary Territorial Service.
Princess Elizabeth, now a second subaltern in the ATS, has been on a 3-week course of instruction.
The whole country went to war, and I think that she felt she was of an age where she wanted to do something as well. Driving the ambulances was a really good way of her getting involved with the war effort, doing something that she was very good at, which is driving.
She became a mechanic and a driver, and she sat with, normal other girl recruits in classrooms and learned how to take apart the engines of trucks and all of that. That was the time that she first met people who weren't from that sort of top drawer social circle.
Today is Victory in Europe Day.
When the war is over on VE Day 1945, Buckingham Palace is the center of England's celebration.
And when the royal family appeared first by themselves and later with Winston Churchill, how they cheered.
Later that day, the princess and her sister reportedly slip out of the palace and celebrate with the jubilant crowds, no longer above the people, but among them. On a trip with her family soon after the war, Elizabeth appears carefree, playing tag with sailors as they travel to South Africa.
Not much doubt about the enjoyment, I think.
The once reserved princess has emerged from the war more confident and comfortable outside her royal circle. Her succession seems to lie far in the future, but she already feels a sense of purpose. On this same trip, she makes a pledge to her people she will keep for a lifetime.
I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and to the service of our great imperial family to which we all belong.
It's often said that when she delivered her famous 21st birthday radio broadcast when she was in South Africa, Churchill was listening to that on the radio back in London and cried. He was so moved by it.
5 years later, now married to Prince Philip, she is headed to Africa again, accompanied by her lady-in-waiting, Pamela Hicks. This time, Princess Elizabeth's father, now ailing, stays back home.
Well, we wouldn't have gone if we'd known how ill he was, but everybody thought he was getting much better. In hindsight, of course, one sees a photograph of him taking his hat off to cheer her on her way, and the sharp wind blowing, and he looks so frail, but that's hindsight.
In Kenya, the royal party stays in a treehouse meant for watching wildlife. And that night, Princess Elizabeth's father, King George, suffering from lung cancer, succumbs to a heart attack. It is her husband, Prince Philip, who breaks the news that her father is dead.
And she adored her father, and he doted on her. So I sort of, rushed up and gave her a hug and a kiss and said, oh, how awful. And then I thought, my God, it's the Queen. And so deep curtsy, everything changed.
Her tour cut short by the tragic passing of her father, Queen Elizabeth leaves the Argonaut. There is no ceremony, but all thoughts for her at this sorrowful homecoming.
Your grandmother was 25 back then. You're 27, your brother is 29. Can you imagine taking on that level of responsibility at such a young age?
No, not a chance. At the age of 25, to suddenly come back from Africa and confronted with the world's media, you know, and you can see it in her face now. You can see it in the way that she parades herself. It's just so immaculate, and she's learned from all the years of experience, basically.
I think it's important to remember how young she was when she took over this incredible job, but also how sad it was for her to lose her father in that way, but then to sort of gracefully move into taking the next steps. And those images of the coronation, the first time images like that appeared on television.
The Lord clothe you with the robe of righteousness.
She wanted the cameras in the Abbey. She wanted to be crowned as much in the view of the people as she could be. But there's one moment that you never see, when she is anointed. And that is deliberate, because I think for her that is the moment when she takes on a religious vocation. She takes the God-given role seriously. I don't think she thinks it's a metaphor.
She is now a young woman on a mission to preserve England's faith in the monarchy and ensure its survival.